latest update for Sensi. Again, between tomorrow and Monday, looks like it's being done. So speaking of the number 8s, again, another number 8 that'll probably come in. Again, that's tweeted something on Beyond the 90, a really, really good piece by what's his name?
Dominic Wells.
Really good on about the 6s, the 8s, and the 10s that he plays. Highly recommend you go and read his article because it's really, really well played there. Again, looks like it's finally happening. We've not got the here we go as of yet, but again, it's verbally agreed. Final fee around 2-3 million. I know he won't be here in time for the Swansea game. Maybe the game afterwards, but excited about this one?
I'm both excited and nervous for him. So we have like a chat between us offline, and I remember the first time he was like linked with us, I was like, "Wow, that's like got to be an Enzo signing to get someone like that," because he's someone that I was aware of. He made the breakthrough in Italy. So I don't know if you knew this, but he used to play under Roberto De Zerbi at Sassuolo, and that's how he got into the Italian team, and that's where he got his big link-up play. And Roberto De Zerbi, who's his best mate? It's a certain Enzo Maresca. So they believe in playing football a certain way. So they had this really good season where they had Kevin Prince Boateng and they had Stefano Sensi and there's some other players, and they were playing very intricate football and playing all these patterns and stuff like that. So I believe that he has actually been recommended that he sign this player from De Zerbi even to say, like give him a chance, he's worth it. And De Zerbi has said in the past about Stefano Sensi that he's got like great attitude, like, professional champion mentality, and he's got the technical skill. And he says, I literally would liken him to be like Iniesta or Xavi. There's not many players you could say that. In the Italian setup, he was at one point considered to be, maybe of the Marco Verratti level. So that's why I was getting so excited, because in the sort of system that we play, to have someone that technical is amazing. Now for the bad news. The bad news is that his injury record is horrendous. Now, normally with injuries, you have one of two things. You can have something like a Ricardo or a JJ where they've got these like massive injuries, an ACL, which knocks you out of the game for a year. And in JJ's case, he kind of got another one, did he not? Or he got another really serious injury. His Achilles, so put him out for a long time as well. And then you lose all that fluency. You have to build your way back to fitness. And like, are you ever going to be the same player again? It's, there's a lot of people who have lost their careers over that. But he actually doesn't have that kind of thing. He's got more of just, he's like breaking down a lot repeatedly over and over. Now, last season, he did play 28 games, so perhaps it's not so bad. But it's just that like we as a club at Leicester, those injuries have sometimes derailed our season. I'm still convinced during that COVID year that had Ricardo not got injured, or JJ the year after, that we probably would have been in a Champions League, because we were playing such good football and they were so integral to the way that we played. Certainly Ricardo on his day is absolutely fabulous player. So that's the downside. But look, 2 to 3
on his day, consistently, even this season. Well,
that's why he's so good, because he's not just like one of those hot and cold players. Like he plays out of 10 games, 8 or 9 good ones, and some of them superb ones. He's a really good player. So there we go. So 2 to 3 million euros. That's a cheap fee. The wages we don't know. We don't know what the contract length is. Look, my just worry is that look at signings that Leicester's made. What is Boubakary Samare doing for us? Done for us. He's done nothing. Christensen. These people take up places in the squad. You can't get them out. Some people are jokingly saying, "Oh, it's just going to be the Dennis Pratt replacement." And what they mean by that is going to be another player that never plays and just takes up wages and is consistently being linked back with Italy. But personally, I'm quite excited because I think that we've discussed a lot, Luke and I, that like what the hell happens if Harry Winks gets injured? The answer is you probably play Ricardo and you bring Hamza in. But I think Hamza showed in this game just today that we're talking about that for me, I don't think Hamza can play that in the Premier League, in my opinion. Maybe against teams that sit back. But if we were playing Liverpool, I'm sorry. For me, maybe he could get there, but he has too many games like this where he's getting bypassed and he's making donkey passes. Sensi is like, well, he is technically better on the ball than Harry Winks. That's I'm going to pass over to Luke now, but imagine that in your mind. And I promise you,
playing higher up as well.
Yeah, that is okay. There's actually, he can play both. He after his injuries, they moved him to deep lying, so he could actually cover his 8 or 6. But I know Luke is raring to go, so I'll mute myself. Okay. Go.
No, don't mute. You're up, mate. Okay, first of all, just before I rant, he's only played 3 games this season. Now, I think this has taken a long time, also because of not ingoings and outgoings. I also think he's having a pretty extensive medical. That's probably what my money's on. Second of all, from what I have seen, which is only granted highlights, very good on the ball. But the thing that separates, and I can't actually say this to be fair, because I haven't seen him actually play. Until I see him play, I don't really want to say this, but from what I can say about Winks is, yes, he's very good on the ball, but Harry Winks is very good on the ball under pressure. Never has his head at his feet. He's able to get the ball and, like, do you remember that game when JJ, I forgot what game it was, and JJ was under the pump and Winks just ran in like a soldier, just dug him out of the trenches, got up, head up, ran out, just delivers a ball on a platter to someone, like full sexy, like, and then like, Winks, and again, going to what you said about Ricardo, okay, let's say Winks gets injured and Ricardo fills in that role, which we know he can because he's so versatile. That's a massive void that's been left behind. And as you said, Hamza cannot fill that role. Now it's a matter of being fit, but again, I think I genuinely, and that's another thing as well. How fit is he? Let's say he's not injured. How fit is he? Is he Enzo fit? I don't think so.
Well, he was under De Zerbi. That's totally fair, Luke, I think, to question that. And that could definitely be what goes wrong. But I just want to say again that, like, I think maybe me and you even were doing this. I was thinking in my head, okay, we definitely, when we go back to the Premier League, we will need to have someone in the squad who is as good as Harry Winks that can deputize. Okay, fair enough. Who are you going to sign? And think for yourself that we're playing Football Manager. I'm not even going to joke. I even loaded up my Football Manager and started looking through and trying to find people that we could get. And one thing that I will say with that position specifically is that, in my opinion, you can't go for a promising youngster. You need to go for a player who's got some sort of experience. I'm not saying they need to be 30, but you need someone, to quote yourself there, they have to be good at playing under pressure. And you want someone who's been good at playing under pressure in, like, the top environment. See, the thing with Winks that we kind of took for granted is Harry Winks had a game like that against Real Madrid, when he was doing things like that. And that was one of the years where Real Madrid won the Champions League, by the way. Harry Winks even played in the Champions League final. So even though he had inconsistencies and wasn't used in the right way, he had that in his ability to do that. So if you look at all of the list of players, and there are some other players I can think of, by the way, but you've got to be realistic, and also how much are they going to cost? And honestly, if you ignore the injury side from it, Stefano Sensi, I think, is one of the best possible candidates you could play for that position. He's played for Inter Milan, who've just won the Super Cup. They got to the Champions League final. He's still playing in that training, every day with those players. Italian international. He's 28 years old. He's got the experience. He knows how to play it, and he's played in the De Zerbi system. You're not going to find too many other players that could do that. I don't know. Could you somehow
euros?
Yeah, we don't know what the wages are though, or signing on fees. So it could be more than that. But yeah, that would be, yeah, there you go. Right. I could imagine it being fairly hefty because he's an Italian international. But I mean, that's just a serious question. Take him out of the thing. Who else is there available? And the good thing with Sensi is that he started off as a mezzala, so box-to-box midfielder, and then to protect him from injuries, they moved him back to a 6 as Winks, and Winks has also done both those things. So on paper, he could play both those positions, a bit like Ricardo. So yeah, I mean, who else out there is there? Like I said, there's not too many, unless you're going to take a gamble and go for someone who's young and maybe they could be good, but you don't know. What I like about Sensi is, assuming he's not injured, is that he will fit. Like, it wouldn't really surprise me, even if, like, game one, you just start seeing him play and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, even after 3 touches of the ball, why he's been brought into the team, because he just can hit the ground running and do it that way. Equally, he could get injured on his second touch, and it's like, okay, everything I've just said has gone out the window. But I think for that money, you won't find too many people. Like, in my head, who else could you get to do that? Could you somehow loan Marco Verratti from that Qatari club that he's gone to on his 600k a week wages? Probably not. There's not so many. Maybe some of the Brighton players, because they kind of do it a little bit. It's not so easy to find that kind of deep lying 6 that's great on the ball. So I think it's astute. It is a gamble, but I think Leicester is the club that sometimes has to take gambles. We'll see if it pays off or not.